We expect some significant changes and hope to see the best outcome for everybody that we work with. Now, Julie's been in the office, I think, and you talked to Crystal a little bit, right? And so we do offer, actually we offer what we call a free consultation with parents that might be interested to get some information, because again, this area is not talked about or very well known. And I have to be honest, because the medical profession doesn't think that our vision can be helped with different activities and vision therapy. Every part of our body system can be made better. Why not our vision system? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The problem goes back because medical eye doctors actually provided vision therapy in the early days of vision therapy. Drugs, surgery came along, and that's the tools right now.
It's a quick fix.
Quick fix, and it doesn't fix things very effectively sometimes. So,
But the good side is that Medicaid and Family Kid Care approve them now.
that's very good, exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So they are seeing some value there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, that's a good point, yes, and that's a good, we work with insurance companies because there is obviously some expenses, and some insurance companies actually provide benefits for vision therapy. The problems, these are all what's called functional vision problems. There's medical diagnoses that are involved with these types of problems, some of them. Medical people don't like to talk about education because that's not their area. And so we have to work around the problems that manifest themselves that involve education. If the eyes can't work together, of course, that's going to affect education. But learning and memory and, again, integration of vision is more educational. And so we can't talk about that with the medical profession or the medical insurance carriers, I guess. So, so I have some brochures. Well, let me ask about some questions at this point. Yes?
Can you give a list of diagnoses that this can help? Like,
Yes.
are we looking at ATVI,
Yes.
ADHD, dyslexia, you know, just a group, so kind of people can know.
Yes. Well, that's a good point. Probably all of those and some of the ones you might not have mentioned. And I have a brochure. I have some brochures that sort of relate to that and some attention difficulties as well. So I'm going to leave these here. People can take them. I can leave them here as well. And basically, there's a challenge that we have locally as well as nationally. Actually, I am one of probably less than 1,000 practitioners in the country providing this service. There are 65,000 eye doctors in the country. Less than 1,000 have taken upon themselves to understand this and to help people in this area. Actually, it's really unfortunate. And so the challenge is to try to provide a service that there is a big need for this service, obviously. But this is, so as we talked about, information is powerful that can give, maybe to help parents look at things maybe a little bit differently. And a lot of, in some cases, this can be a very big missing point, actually. So I have, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm maybe hearing myself, no. But there is, so I have some brochures about areas of different types of problems. There's one about attention problems. There is information on, more information on vision therapy, what that really entails, and how vision can affect learning. And so I'll leave these, and people can take these, and I can, have those for people that are that come into the office here.
Well, and then one thing I was going to mention is, in my treatment, we haven't gotten that far. It may not be necessary. But when you treated Josh, he had, I think it was a 6-week course, and he came to see you or someone in the office on a regular basis, and he had homework. And he complained mightily. Because he couldn't see any point in it, and it was just silly and so on and so forth. But he dutifully followed it.
That's pretty impressive, really.
And the main thing that we noticed, I noticed as a friend and his mother noticed as a parent, is that it helped his memory. You had something, I can't even remember what it was, but it was a very involved thing about presidents. And he had learned, all the presidents of the United States. But you could ask him, Josh, who is the current president? And he'd look at you and say, let me see. Okay, now I remember, but it was... He got
those images.
But he finally connected the picture, the name, and their relationship in sequential order.
Wow.
We were just I was blown away.
Well, I think he was too, because nobody in his classroom probably knew the presidents in order from Washington to the current president, And so, again...
So it works on short-term memory. I mean, maybe it doesn't do anything for the memory, but it makes them more aware.
Well, and this is what I hear from parents all the time. A lot of kids don't think they can do very much. And this program that we provide is a challenge. It's demanding. It's doing something out of your comfort zone.
Oh, definitely.
But when you start to do things that you can't do, you feel different about what you can do in other areas. And so it really sort of interconnects with activities besides school. And time and time again, the parents note that their child feels better about who they are, what they can do, and what they've accomplished, I guess. So it's really pretty neat to see. And it's just human nature that we want to be, we want to feel good about ourselves, and then that helps us to do things that are difficult, I guess. Because life is difficult. Life is a challenge, for sure. Yes.
My son can learn lots of things very well if there are pictures. He's very, he has a great visual memory, but he has this massive block with math. Are there specific things to do with vision and, things that don't have a picture that you can tie to them?
Yes.
Like you were saying, more technical information or math information. Are there things within this that can help that?
Well, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. There is, because what is 7 times 8?
Oh, sorry, 56. 56! No, my times tables!
That's okay. So, some things have to be memorized.
Yeah.
And, but there's some basic things that kids start off with that sort of get in the way of that memorization process, actually. Just with basic addition, subtraction types of things, and how numbers relate to each other, and so they use a roundabout way to remember those types of things. Actually, they should be automatic. And so, and that's kind of tough to break through with older kids. Younger kids, we can start them off, because even when you just think about 7 plus or 8 plus 5. Just think about that. What comes to
I
mind?
do see it, I see
Yeah.
the numbers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's still a visual task
Mhm.
that can support a more automatic outcome.
Mhm.
And so a lot of kids will, unfortunately, think about 8 plus 5 and go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, yeah, 13. What's the big deal about that? Well, it took them, it was an extra step that they had to use. Like, they didn't get that image of what relationships are to make a more efficient outcome.
Mhm.
So there's still, actually, I just went to a meeting last October that deals with math and vision processing that supports that type of thinking. And so it's connected. It's difficult to change habits, I guess. And that's difficult for everybody. So, but that's doable for, some math requires certain types of, it's relationships, basically. Some kids have a difficult time with that. Yes.
Because I was a teacher, and when I was teaching, I did a lot of manipulatives and using visual for them to see,
Perfect.
because,
Hands-on.
hands-on
Yes.
stuff, because one of the classes I took was Math Their Way,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and Math Their Way is using lots of manipulatives, and, like if you were doing the 5 plus 8, and they would give you 5 of this and 8 of this, and then how many are they together? It's visual and it's tactile.
Right.
And, you can go back, if I think, to me, teachers that use a lot of visuals, a lot of tactile stuff, where kids are actually doing things with their hands and their whole bodies,
Yeah.
makes more sense to them than anything else. But just to give them a piece of paper and a pencil, like my granddaughter came home with things that were paper and pencil stuff yesterday, and she's in kindergarten, adding 7 plus 5. She had 21, but it's because she was reversing the numbers, in kindergarten.
Wow.